Welcome back to the channel, my brothers. My name's Andy R, and this is the Brotherhood of Men. I say welcome back to the channel. This might be your first time visiting. If so, where have you been? We've been waiting on you. Come on. Today, I want to talk to you about a knotty subject that has become very prevalent in society, and that is toxic masculinity. Is there such a thing? Well, let's find out in this video. Let's get started. So, toxic masculinity, we hear that phrase bandied around all the time. It's a catch-all kind of phrase to belittle men, put them down. But is there such a thing? Is masculinity toxic? Well, the truth of the matter is that no, it's not. Traditional masculinity is not toxic and never has been. It holds all of those traits that men and women have looked up to aspire to. But there are certain toxic men out there, and that's the thing. A lot of the people who are talking about toxic masculinity, it's usually the gynocentric type of people who bring this up, are mistaking maleness with masculinity. But the truth of the matter is there can be toxic men, just like there can be toxic women. You see, every group is going to have somebody who's a bit of an a-hole, who's going to be toxic, who's going to be detrimental to the group, to the society, to the family as a whole. But that doesn't mean that then you can paint the whole of the group, family, society, whatever, as toxic. And that's what's happening. But the truth of the matter is those men who have become toxic do the worst things, especially to women. They are the very men who don't know what their own masculinity is, or what it is to be a masculine man, what it is to grow up and move through the world as a man. They've been raised by women exclusively. All they've had is female input. They've never had a true, strong male role model in their lives, and therefore have turned out to be toxic, because you tend to rebel against what you know. And if all you know is how a woman reacts, how a woman behaves, what a woman thinks, and you're a man, you're confused from the beginning, because you don't know where you fit in this role. So you start to act out. You start to behave poorly. You start to act not like a man, but a confused, feminized boy. And you become toxic. You start acting like a woman and not like a man, because that's all you've seen. And we learn from example. We learn from what we hear and see around us on a daily basis. And if you've never had a truly masculine man in your life, you don't know how to behave. And this is the same for men and women. If a woman, a girl growing up, doesn't have a true masculine man in her life to look up to, she doesn't know what she's looking for in a partner. And she starts going for the very type of men that she will ultimately despise. The feminized man. The man who isn't masculine, but he is male. So when he treats her poorly, when he does something abhorrent towards her, she says that's toxic masculinity. But she doesn't know what she's talking about. She's talking about masculinity instead of maleness. She's talking about masculinity without ever having experienced a masculine man. She's just dealing with men who never themselves knew what it was to be masculine. So these boys grow up very confused. They grow up into adulthood still as grown boys instead of men, because nobody's taught them how to be a man. They're not irredeemable. They can change their lives around. All they have to do is embrace their masculinity. Start learning what it is to be a man. Start learning how to be a masculine man and how to move through the world. It doesn't mean you have to fight the world. In fact, a truly masculine man is more stoic than anything else. He will put up with a lot, but he has his red lines. Lines he will not cross, and he will not let somebody else encroach upon his morality. He will not let somebody else dictate to him how he should behave as a man. He knows his own worth. He knows his own value because he earned it with his hands and with his intellect. He knows where he stands in the world because he carved that place for himself in the world. And nobody else can tell him he's wrong. Nobody else can tell him that he can't do what he does because he's already done it. He's already carved his niche in the world. He plants his flag. We are conquerors, we men. Not only we are conquerors, but we're very territorial. This is mine. Don't you dare try and take it from me. Don't you dare try and step on my territory and tell me that I'm wrong. This is mine. I've planted my flag here. Come for me and you will regret it. That is a masculine man. He's stoic because he'll put up with a lot, but only so much. And only he knows where his lines are. And if he invites somebody else to share that life with him, a woman or friends even, they have to understand this is who he is. Men know other masculine men. They look up to them. Men are not all leaders, but they all have their own morality. They all have their own boundaries. And other men recognise that in them and know that to be their friend, to work with them, to build something together, they have to accept those boundaries and they have to work within them. But a woman will come in and try and break all those boundaries, try and make him something he isn't. And those men who accept that are feminist men, are feminized, because they never had those strong boundaries. They never saw it in real world. They never saw it on a daily basis. They never saw that these are the lines you do not cross. So they accept all of this. Let's break this boundary. Let's break that boundary. And end up becoming the very toxic men that women talk about. But women talk about it as though that's all men. That masculinity is toxic. It has to be destroyed. It has to be changed. We want men to act more like women. Yet the truth of the matter is a feminized man, is very unattractive to most women. Data and statistics shows this out. That a man who acts more feminine is not appealing to a woman. In fact, women still find the most attractive men that women find are masculine men. Men who know themselves first. And women say, I want a piece of that. I want to be on that ship because that guy knows where he's going. And I want to be along for the ride. Women do not care one iota about a man's struggles. They do not care the hardship a man has had to go through, a man has had to fight for, to find his little corner of the world, to say this is mine and plant the flag. All they want to do is jump on that island and be part of it. They don't care about the struggles. They will just sit at the finish line and hope that they can pick the winner. But men have to be the winner first. That's what it is to be a masculine man. To be the winner, whatever that looks like for a man. And it's as individual as there are men. I could say that I'm living in a cardboard box and I have no money, but I've won because that's how I wanted to live. Or I could say I'm living in a mansion in a lap of luxury and I achieved all of that with my hard work and with my intellect. And that is what I wanted because I set those goals for myself. A woman will come across and say, hey, can I come and live in your mansion with you? It looks a really comfortable mansion. You've got a lot of money, have you? I haven't got any money, but if you've got money, I know I'm going to be looked after. That's why they want to jump on that ride. That's why they want to be part of it, because they don't care how you got there. They just want the benefits of you getting there. This is the truth. that masculinity has never been toxic. Now, and this really annoyed me, a recent psychological paper came out claiming that masculinity is a psychological condition. Well, isn't everything? Every condition is psychological. It happens in the mind first. To turn around and then say, oh, now it's something that has to be treated because it's bad, I can guarantee, I didn't read who wrote it, but I can guarantee that was either a feminine man or it was a woman who wrote that. And they had an agenda, and that is to break down masculinity, to completely destroy it. Well, look at all of society throughout history and look at the countries that have strong men in them and tell me that their countries aren't better than this weak, westernized, wishy-washy, gynocentric kind of don't know where we're going, don't know what we're doing, and let's poo-poo everything that came before. Look at all societies up to this point. They were built by strong men, masculine men. They're still run by strong, masculine men today. And all that these gynocentric women want to do is destroy that and have nothing better to replace it with. It's just let's burn it down just to burn it down. Let's make men out to be the violators in every situation for no other reason than they were born men. Men are not stupid, and men are starting to fight back. The strong masculine men have put that flag down and said, this is my territory and you better not step on it. Because if you do, you won't like the results. You won't like the consequences of your actions. This is what's happening with our society. And the fight back is happening now because these women have gone so far in the other direction that they are no longer recognised to us as something we want to deal with. Are no longer thinking to ourselves, do you know what? They're not regulating themselves like they used to. They're not holding each other accountable for their poor decisions, for the words coming out of their mouth, for the things that they say about men. So we men are going to hold them accountable. And we do that by going, no, no, I'm not having it. We call it out. We say something about it. Doesn't matter what the consequences are to that, because we've got to a point now that even criticising a woman is seen as something toxic, when in actual fact, criticism is the one pure, beautiful way to make a society better. If you can't criticise, why bother with it? So if I can't criticise a woman, why would I want to be with a woman? Well, I am with a woman and I don't criticise her because, do you know what, she's great. But she's not one of these modern women. She's not one of these gynocentric women. She's a very traditional woman. Now, if you agree with me, leave it down in the comments below. If you disagree with me, let me know. Tell me what you disagree with. And if nothing else, give the video a like. Also, subscribe to the channel. All of these things cost you nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm not asking anything from you. But I do want to grow this channel, and I can't do that without your help. So subscribe, hit the bell notification. Give the video a like, all the pretty buttons. Share this video. That really helps if you share it with others. Let them see the message. Let them realise that if they've not been walking through the world as a strong, as a truly masculine man, that they need to find out what it is to be a masculine man. It takes both strength in body and strength in mind. Because that's where it comes from. That's where the start happens. That's where the change comes from. You need to be strong in both your body, you need to be strong in your mind. It's not easy, not how society is now, but let's be honest, it's going to be worth it. Anyway, I'm going for a cup of tea because I think I've earned one. What do you reckon? Let me know. Do you think I've earned a cup of tea? Also, if you don't look after yourself, who will? So take care of yourself. My name's Andy R. This is the Brotherhood of Men, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.